And welcome to this week's episode of Sister Musings. I'm Tiva, and this week we're gonna just be talk. We're gonna be talking. This is called the pivot, and we're gonna be talking about picking up where we left off last week when I decided about make some decisions about my unemployment and how I will move forward. We will be discussing the hantavirus, and then we just do some mod podge and some current events. Because there's a lot of current events I did that's gotta like be talked about and discussed. Okay, so hi Risa.
Hi. So, like I said, at the end of last week's episode, we was talking about um you pivoting, like stopping with applying for jobs. No, not stop applying for jobs, but just stop worrying
Yeah.
about it and just pivot and try something else.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Poshmark and eBay stores.
Yeah.
So shifting to maybe trying to build your own, try to build those, and trying to do your own business.
Yes.
So after we start recording, how did you feel? Did something shift?
I'm a little bit, and then something shook back. And then I'm like, okay, am I making the right choices here? And then I did a on Saturday I did like this because you get something, and what happened is we discussed the issue that I had that came up, an unexpected bill came through, and now it's like, okay, maybe I do need a job. So on Saturday, once again, I get into these spaces where I lock myself in my room. Yeah. It's like I'm hiding. I hide. So I think I got it on Friday, and I went into hiding on Friday. It didn't come out until Sunday. Then I think I went right back into hiding when I came home.
Yeah.
And then I did spend the weekend applying for jobs.
Okay, so you decided to go back because that whatever that bill that came through on Friday was like, wait a minute, no, I probably I need some. Okay.
But then I still want to do my own thing too. So I guess it's what it is. I get scared and I'm like, okay, I need this. And then I get scared again, like, okay, if I go back into the workforce, will I still try to do my own thing? So it was just like still an up and down. I still want to do my own. I'm just like, do I have the fortitude and do I have the ability? Do I have strength? Do I have this? Do I have the know-how? Do I have what it takes to build anything? And then I get into different people. So you got people that say, I need a job, and no, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's not built to be an entrepreneur, and that's true. Everybody's not built to be an entrepreneur. But I do know what I want, and I'm like, and the reason I'm saying, like, I feel like I'm blocked when it's coming to unemployed, when it's coming to trying to get employed. Like, I'm constantly getting turned down. So am I being directed to a different place? And so that's where I was. But that doesn't mean after the show last week, after the episode, I did sit down and I started coming up with a plan. It's just that on Friday I get hit, and then I'm like, okay, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going back to work.
Okay.
But what I did come up with is that I want to do a creative and entrepreneurial workspace here where we live.
Okay.
And sat down, got the plan, wrote it out, and and people might not like AI, but I don't use AI to write. I use it to kind of brainstorm.
Yes.
And so, you give it the prompts and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And it helps me organize and helps me put everything together so I can see it. And I'm like, what I can see is I want a place where, where we can go and shoot podcasts, and people can go and shoot different things like social media content, and they don't have to, and we do the equipment, like a shared kitchen type thing for people who want to cater or bake, but they can't afford storefront. They can't even afford a whole building, but they can come in and do that. Like if they got an order or something. Then I want to have a business center where you can go in and you can use the computers and stuff like that. I also want to have it where there's assistants that can help you with your business. So that means they'll take care of all the paperwork, they'll take care of the mailings and all of that for you. So my mind is like, okay, I see what I am, and I'm like, people who's online selling, I want to have somewhere where they can come in and do that. So I know what I want, and I can see it, but I'm just like, okay, now how do I start doing it?
That's the biggest thing. You hit your roadblock.
Yeah.
And you get to a point, like my thing is, I get to a point where when I have to start talking to a lot of other people, I'm like, okay, never mind, I'm not going to do that. Because now I got to start involving other people. Like, but yeah, so that's the biggest roadblock for me.
I think me, like, okay, so I know that that's what I want to do, but now it becomes now, okay, now you need funding. Now you need to talk to people. Now you need, and there may be stuff out there for it. Like, okay, we know the mayor here in this town.
Yeah.
And I probably can call her and tell her exactly what I want. And she probably can get me in the room with the right people.
Yeah.
But why haven't I reached out to her? It's been a week. On Wednesday, by that night, when we got off the air, I had the whole plan written out.
Okay.
Had everything written out, exactly what I wanted to do. And how I wanted it to be played out. And hold on, let me see if I can pull it out here. I don't want to give up too much details, but okay. So, I mean, I got the name print out, but it's like a podcast studio, video production, commercial kitchen, business center, a loading dock, administrative support, photography studio for people that need to take pictures, a cafe and snack bar, and conference rooms. And like I said, I got to print everything out, but like I said, I got everything laid out to how we can start, how I can get it started. And now I just gotta start executing those plans. Yes. And I had this worked out, like I said, by Wednesday morning. It was worked out because that's my vision. And it's not, and the thing about the vision, it's not a vision I just came up with lightly. I think you've heard me say this before. So now my thing is how I'm gonna do it. But then I'm like, how long is it gonna take? And me, I like, if I set it on paper, when I woke up the next morning, it should have been ready.
No, that's the thing. It's not gonna just pop up. You're gonna have to work to get it started and not give up when things are not going fast enough.
Yes.
And even like if you were to get a job, would you stop?
I said that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that if I got a job, then I'll be like, well, this is paying my bills right now.
I think because I kind of did that like with eBay. When I was not eBay. I'm sorry. Yeah, with eBay. When I was at my one job I had been with for a long time, it wasn't paying enough money. So when I got the job, when I started working at the company I'm making now, I kind of put eBay to side. I'm like, oh, now I'm making more money, so I can kind of back off of eBay a little bit. And from there, it's just gotten worse and, less and less attention to eBay. Yeah. But when I wasn't making the money I wanted to make, I was all into it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So it's that part where can you sustain it if you were to get a job? Can you still sustain this with your... Yeah, because starting off, you're not going to be making $300,000 a year.
No, you're not.
No. I mean, that's a low, but you're gonna have to start off. It's gonna have to slowly build up.
Yes.
So, are you willing to do this, even if you were to get a job? Are you willing to stick with it if you don't have everything in place by the time you get a job? Are you willing to keep going, or is it gonna kind of be like, oh?
See, this is where I'm at, and that's why I feel like, and see, this is where I'm at now. I'm like, because like, you know what I mean? I'm between spiritual and I don't want to say being a realist, But spiritually, I feel like if you get another job, you're not gonna do this, and I'm tired of you asking for it.
Yeah.
And I'm just tired. So let's see this job right here. I don't want you to have it right now because I'm tired of you asking for it. Go for it. But it's been a year since I lost my job, and then I start something, then I get depressed. Oh my god! And it's just like even now, okay, I'm not really. Am I working hard enough towards the goal? And I'm like, at this point, I know I'm not. So now I know with a job, I'm not going to do it. I do feel like that because I was with the company I was with. I was making I was making decent money. I was doing what I wanted to do. So I kind of was same thing. It was like, it's in my ear, and I really want to focus on this. Even though every day I would sit at my desk and I want my own thing.
Yeah.
Every day I want to do my own thing. I want to do my own thing, but I wouldn't work towards it because I had a job. And I do know that probably if I do get a job, I probably will be um same thing. I want to do my own thing, but I got this job, and maybe not. Maybe when I retire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then I'll be in my 60s, and do I want to do something? And the thing of what's funny is because even when I was with the company I was with, everything was going so good, and I was like, okay, I'm advancing, I'm learning, and if I save enough money, because I was putting money away. I had my 401k, I had stock. I was putting money away. So in the back of my mind, what I do is, and no, matter of fact, it was part of my financial plan. I'll put money away. I'll save money. Then when I retire, I can focus on that. And then that way I have my retirement money. And then I can be on my, working my business. And so I have that money too. So yes, I had actually put off that too. And I said, I'll just do it. I'm like, because 67, 65 is not old. I'm like, and you can still do things at that time. And I'm like, and I can do that for like 10 years and 75 until I get tired. Yeah. Or whatever. And so I know that if I'm working, I probably would not put any type of focus on it because I'm going to go with the safer bet. And the safer bet would be working. And like I said, when I was with the company I was before, I had made the decision that I wouldn't try to do the business until I retired. I would be working on building it, and then the day when I retired, then I would be ready to go. Yeah. So where I'm at now is okay. I'm in a hot spot because I'm at the point where I do need to do something, and nothing's coming through. So now I have to, but I think now it's like, how when you have that much money, and I'm holding up that much, and I guess it all starts with the little things that we're doing, the eBay, the Poshmark. Our father, my dad, he does these sculptures, and I'm like, I can get those and help him sell those. So I know that I'm gonna have to start there, and I know what I want, and that's not gonna come next week. Like I'm not gonna break ground on that. This probably in 2026. The ground of that probably won't be broken until 2-3 years from now. Yeah. But I got to start laying the foundation now to build up to that because it is going to be what I know what I'm describing is not something that I can probably build on my own. It is probably something that I'm going to have to probably bring in other people. Right. And then they're going to have to see that I'm somebody that they can work with. Yes. And somebody that they can say, okay, we can trust because it's not going to be, like I said, it's not. I know that's something I'm not. When I'm coming to the conclusion, it's not something I'm going to be able to, like I said, build on my own. I am going to need people. I'm going to need somebody that knows photography. I'm going to need somebody that knows videography. I'm going to need somebody that knows how to run a studio. I'm going to need, you know what I'm saying? And because in my mind, I'm like, well, I actually do want people on board that's going to be mentoring the people that come in. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to have all of that. So I'm gonna have to get out there and pretty much network. And you know what networking does to me? I can't literally go next door to the people next door and start talking to them. How the hell am I gonna network with people? And where do you even meet people to network with? People are talking about networking. How do you meet people to network with? So now it's a whole nother level because what I am describing literally puts me in the public. And I don't like the public. I shouldn't say I don't like the public. The public makes me nervous.
Yeah.
And everything I'm describing is saying that I want to talk to people and I want to do this, and that's not. But why is that saying that when I'm not that type of person?
Yeah.
So, I guess what I'm saying is this pivot is not only a pivot from corporate world, it's a pivot in my whole personality. What the world I built for myself, because the world I built for myself is indoors.
Yeah.
It's just me and you and our kids. I'm not our kids, but your daughter, my son, and our dad. I don't have, my world is not very big.
Yeah.
And my pivot now is saying, oh, you want a bigger world, because you can't build anything that you're saying with just those people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just something I'm just thinking of. This is a pivot. This is more than just this is more than just a career pivot. This is a whole personality pivot. This is a whole lifestyle pivot.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle pivot, which goes back into my Grab Life by the Cherries. Now, because, with my Grab Life by the Cherries lifestyle blog that I need to get back on, I talk about, I put myself in a box a long time ago. And now I'm trying to get outside of that box. And that's where this pivot is coming from. I think that's why this episode is called The Pivot. And it's, like I said, it's more than just a career pivot. It's more than a work style pivot. It is literally a pivot in your whole lifestyle, your whole being. Because I got to become a whole different, I'm not saying I become a whole different person, but I got to live a whole different new way if I want this to come. And I'm like, this is something but I feel like this is something I have been dreaming about since we lived in Greensboro.
Okay.
Because you remember they had that one place?
Yeah, that it was like a shared office space.
Yes.
And
that was the only place I've ever seen that. And I think there's places here that have stuff like that now, but it's not on a large scale. Because like I said, what I want is basically for Black creators to have somewhere to go, and they don't have to buy all this equipment. You pay into into it, and then you get all this other stuff. Like I said, you get the use of the kitchen. You get, if you're a baker or whatever, you get the use of a studio. You get the use of a photography studio if you take pictures. So this is where I want to be. But like I said, I know that I can't do it on my own. I'm going to have to bring in other people to help do it. So, but if I go to work, I don't know if I'm going to have time. So then I got to think about mentality. Like, okay, reality says you probably are going to have to go back to work. So if you get a call from a job, you're going to have to take it. However, I need to put boundaries up. If my job says I work from 9 to 5, then I work from 9 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I'm trying to set boundaries. Like, I need to be, because I'm salary. So it's like, at 9, my cutoff is 9 hours.
Yeah. Because anything over 9 hours, you're actually taking a reduction of pay. If you think about it. Because they're not going to pay you overtime.
Yes, they're not.
So you think about that. So if you go to work and you work and say you make, $40 an hour, and that's usually for 8 hours, and for every hour over 8 hours, that's a less, you're dropping down to 39, 38. You're reducing you're still getting paid the same amount, you're just getting paid less an hour.
Yes.
So, and you're giving them more time, and they're not paying you for that extra time. Their time is literally saying for 8 hours per day for 40 hours a week.
Yes.
Anything over that, you're giving it to them for free.
And that's what I need to start.
Yes.
So yeah, you're right. So setting a boundary.
Yes.
Saying, okay, this is at 5, I'm out. 9 to 5, that's when I'm working.
And I gave you 9 to 5, and I gave you extraordinary. And I'm like, and if I'm working for you, I'm gonna give you extraordinary.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
but
all we're doing.
I'm gonna give you, you paying me this, I'm going to give you what you pay for. But once I leave, or once this time is over, now I'm on my own time. And at this time, now I got to focus on the things I need to do.
Mhm.
And so now, instead of, now what do I do with the times between, 5 and when I got to get back to work? What do I do with the weekends? And that's going to be important. If I go back to work, then all the time that you have free needs to go into your idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be, um, and I know you do need to rest and recuperate, but you still need to be focusing on that goal that you have, because it's what I'm thinking of is really, um I think it's extraordinary. In my mind's eye, in my vision, when I was picturing what I wanted, the one thing I pictured was me standing, um like on the top floor, and the building's kind of like a the way I saw it is I can stand on like maybe like the top floor, say it's like 3 stories, and kind of look down.
Yeah.
But not looking down in the sense where I'm on top and these people are minions or whatever. In my vision, I'm looking down and I'm smiling, because what I have done was I have given these people the opportunity to build something on their own.
Yes.
I have built an ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I saw. I wasn't seeing myself as, because I'm like, I used to want to be rich.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about, like, when I thought about wealth when I was little, you saw fancy cars, you saw boats, you saw big houses. But I don't even, for me, I don't want to be rich. I want to be able to, um, help and help other people grow. And what was the prayer of Jabez?
Jabez,
Mama
to
gave us
increase
that
our
book.
territory, to increase the territory.
In order to be a help to others.
Yeah.
Increase my territories in order so I can be a help to others.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Because we can think that that prayer was about him getting all this wealth. It wasn't just about the wealth for him. He wanted to help other people. And in my vision, that's like I said, when I saw myself and I was dressed nice, but I was just happy that these people were able to I'm able to help these people build something, and that's what I want. So I guess when I think about, if I do have to go back to work, if I do go back to work, then my vision still should be the prayer of Jabez, still expand my territory so I can be a help to others. And I need to focus on that, and I need to build that, because there are people out there that want to do all this stuff for themselves, and they can't, because they can't afford a camera. They can't afford the equipment. They can't afford a kitchen. They can't afford, and if they can pay maybe $100 a month or 200, whatever the prices that we set it at, they can be able to come in and then do that, and then collaborate with each other, and far as different things too. So, like I said, that's just where I'm at right now. And like I said, I know it doesn't pay the bills right now, but I know where I am, and hopefully, um, something will come through as far as a job. But then also that I can still work towards what we're doing. I can still work towards what I want. And even with this, we're starting with this podcast, and that's something. Like I said, but one thing we got to do. Um, Okay, so we put it out there. So now what I need to start doing is start, like I said, focusing. I need to make sure people are listening to this podcast. I need to make sure people know what's out there. Because how are we going to make money if people don't know what's out there? We can take this podcast. This podcast can start us to get sponsorships. And we get sponsorships, that's money.
Yeah.
That's money that we can't use. So now I need to start saying, okay, we doing this, and this is a big step that we're doing this. But now what we need to do is now get it marketed. Now we need to get eyes on it. Now we need to get ears on it. Now we need to put it out there, because that's going to be the first step into as the place is going to be called, the Overlook. And we need to get, that's what I'm like saying, I need to start building that because you work. And with you working, you can't do your work 8 hours a day and then I expect you to come here and give me full steam. And you do as much that you do. Like you came home, you do everything that you can do, but if you're working 8 hours a day and I'm not, baby, we should have already been doing this. I should have already had us a social media platform built out because I've been home, but I've been here sad and stuck and scared. Because oh my God, what if somebody don't like it? Yeah. What if somebody pick on us? People gonna pick on you, laugh at you.
Leave bad comments.
Yeah.
You got somebody else got something to say. Yeah. You got some people that's supportive, you got some people that's not going to be supportive.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's like, but did you listen to it though?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the listen.
Thank you for the listen. Thank you for the comment because that means I got engagement.
Yeah. So thanks.
So, but like I said, so you're working so tomorrow, I think my goal should be when I get up, then I print out the social media content. I need to get that out there. And then what I've done was like, okay, we can't be doing this on Monday night. The planning for our show shouldn't be Monday night. Our planning on our show should be Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow, we should actually be discussing what we're going to be doing next week.
I already got the topic for next week.
Okay. So we need to sit down. Yeah, we need to sit down and write that out so I can get that done. So by Saturday, we have that all planned out and then I can start doing the social media. Like by Friday, what we should already have is what we're going to talk about, the show planned out, and then I'll start pushing out the social media.
Yeah.
But another thing I need to do is, like I said, I got to get out of my head. Like, okay, like tonight I'll go to bed and then I'll start thinking it's never going to work. And then I stay up till 4:00 in the morning and then I fall asleep about 5 or 6. And then guess what? Now I'm sleepy and now I can't get up until 11. And that's not conducive. That's not working.
But the thoughts, thoughts, let's say thoughts are powerful. So you got to stop thinking that something's not going to work or stop thinking too much. Somebody once told me I thought, so I forgot who that was, but they say you think too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does that mean? But what it means is like, okay, like for instance at work, I would do something at work, I make a decision at work, and then I come home from work and I'm still thinking about that decision.
Yes.
The more scenarios I start coming up with, and I had to start turning that off. Like, this is as early as 2 weeks ago. I have started, like, when I'm at home and I start thinking about something, where I'll just say, you know what, I'm not thinking about work.
Yes.
I made the decision, and when I go back to work, I'll deal with the decision there. But I'm not going to sit here and think about it while I'm watching TV or while I'm getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
So the same thing with this. It's like, okay, so with yours, it's a little different because you're
I get it.
Vision.
Yes.
So once you make the decision to do it, when you find yourself taking your mind in different scenarios in the future, the stuff is not done unless it has something to do with the planning and what you need to do to get stuff started. Do not start that future stuff. Don't start doing it.
And that's so crazy because then in your mind you're like, okay, if this is how it's going to happen and it's going to happen this way. And you remember That's So Raven?
Yes.
Okay. Raven had visions, but every vision that she had, Raven would do stuff in order to get to that vision.
Yes.
And once you start thinking, okay, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, then do you realize that what you have done now is programmed yourself to take every step that it takes to get to that outcome?
Yes.
Which is kind of like manifestation.
Yeah.
You subconsciously told yourself, like you say, I'm going to fall down the steps. Your subconscious said, okay. And so what you're going to do is you're going to miss a step. You're going to forget that you were walking down the stairs, or you're going to forget that you got a step right there. Something's going to happen.
Miss a step.
What did, oh my God, right before he blew off into some leaves, he told that Kung Fu Panda, the turtle, told the red panda, Shofu, what's his name, Shofu? Well, I forget. Anyway, the red panda. He said you awfully get you, but you get to your destination trying to avoid your destination. So you're literally taking steps to avoid a destination. And what he do? He sent a goose. The goose feather fell off, and the man used it as a pick.
That little bangle thing,
yes.
whatever he was.
Girl. Yeah.
He should not be, but like you said, if you had never sent that goose to that prison,
yeah,
he would never got out.
And when you got there, what the rhinoceros say? We got this place on lock. He ain't getting out. He ain't got out. Look, he been here for 5-10 years, and he ain't made a move. And you sent a goose in here, and as soon as you sent the goose, he out. So that's what I'm saying. So you're right. So you sit there and you tell yourself all the scenarios, and then you start making small little mistakes, and you don't even realize you're making them. And then when it happens, you're like, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. But you didn't realize when you look back, everything I did led to this point. So now, like you said, now it's the turning off those negative thoughts.
Yes, you got to turn them off. If it's not helping you build, like if I'm sitting and I'm saying, instead of building scenarios, this person ain't gonna like this, and this person, what am I doing? And the only thinking you should be doing is how to build it, and not future thinking like, oh, but they ain't gonna like this, and if I do this, somebody ain't gonna like that. Okay, you don't know that yet because it's not even built. Yeah,
and like I said, and you have to look at some risk factors, but the risk factors shouldn't be it's just gonna fail. The risk factor should be something like, okay, if I got $100,000, I can't really do something that costs $120,000.
Yeah,
I need to figure out how to make it fit. I guess you got to look at you do have, like I said, you look at the risk factors, but the risk factors should be reality, something that are real risk factors. Like if you build in a building, you're not going to say, oh, it's going to fall, because it will fall. But the risk factor should be, if I do it this way, it will fall. Yeah. But if I do it this way, it would be sturdy. But not just automatically, if I build a house, it's going to fall down. No, but if you build a house out of paper, it probably will. But you, like I say, so you have to look at the realistic risk and not some made up risk. And that's what the whole thing. Some people gonna like the platform, or some people, and you may get people that come in like, I hate that place, I never will go back. But it might not have just didn't work for them. Yeah. But you're not gonna think, but and see, with me, I'm like, oh, everybody's gonna hate it. Everybody's gonna come in and think it's a stupid idea. And then you're gonna be focused on just those people. But what about the people that really think that will get the use out of it? Yeah. So you're right. You're not gonna be I think like you're not gonna please all the people all the time. Yeah. But only thing you can do is do as best as you can. But you gotta really work towards doing the best you can.
Yes. So
like I said, so this is my goal for this week. It's like I said, I don't wanna hold on. I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to. What I want to do this week is, like I said, I want to get out of my own head. Hopefully, no more standing up all night worrying about it. But now start working towards it. One thing I can start doing now is, like I said, what my plan is, the vision I have is not going to happen tomorrow. And I got to stop thinking that. And so when I wake up and I haven't done it, I'm thinking, oh no, I failed because it's not built yet. Well, no, what you're talking about is going to take millions. It's going to take investments in advisors. This is something that probably won't happen 5 years. And so what I do need to do is put a timeline on it. Yeah. So what I can do now is really build up what we're doing here, which is the Poshmark, which is the Etsy, which is the eBay. Start there, build up there. Let people see, oh, I really want to work with her because look at what she's doing.
Yeah.
And when can she help me build something like that? Well, our podcast, I gotta, get it out there, socialize, um, be more active. If you like social media, if you like being on social media, be more active. Don't be afraid. Take a picture. And my thing, I'm not pretty enough. I don't look. Well, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. Oh my God, my weight. And then there's women out there that's beautiful, that's killing it in the fashion game.
Yeah.
Posting pictures of themselves. And I'm looking like, oh my God, I'll be so ashamed. But why?
Well, yeah.
Why would I be ashamed to take pictures of a body? Like, okay, I am not built like Megan Thee Stallion. Probably would never be built like Megan Thee Stallion. But who to say that I wouldn't inspire somebody who looks like me? And there are a lot of people out there that look like me that are beautiful, that are dressing. And so I need to get out of that mindset that I can't post a picture of myself.
Yeah.
But I do need to start doing my hair, Laura. And I do. But I do need to, and I love, I used to love makeup. I talked to you about makeup. Yeah. I taught you. And yeah, so I need to start doing those things and putting myself out there and stop thinking that I'm going to get rejected because of somehow I think that I don't look.
Yeah.
And once again, not everybody's going to like my look, but not everybody's going to hate it either.
Yes.
So that's what my goal is this week, is basically get out my own head. Stop telling myself that I'm gonna fail. Stop telling myself that everybody's gonna, nobody's gonna like it. Stop telling myself that I can't do it. And also, like I said, that if I do get a job, I need to put the boundaries up. But I need to really, truly start betting on myself and start investing in myself and start working towards it. Stop talking and actually start doing.
Yes.
And that is my goal for this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, talking about, so that's good. That's hopefully we want to touch base again next week. See.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, it won't be the main topic. It won't take up half the show, but yeah. But yeah, we definitely can talk about it.
Okay.
And just see where I'm at, and did I do any of the things that I just said that I was gonna do? Like, okay, was she all talk or what?
Yes. Did she finish the plan?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we can go into the next topic. So the hantavirus. Okay. So hantavirus. Where does it come from? Okay. So April 2026.
Mm-hmm.
They had an outbreak on a Dutch cruise ship. And the ship left Argentina,
okay,
the southernmost city in the world, on April 1st, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
It's believed to have started following a bird watching expedition.
Mm-hmm.
The confirmed strain is the Andes strain, which is found in South America. Okay. And it's the only known hantavirus capable of human-to-human transmission. How convenient. Though this is extremely rare.
Okay.
All right. So, where are we at right now? So, we have 3 confirmed deaths, a Dutch couple and a German national. 5 confirmed cases, 3 suspected cases as of May 7th.
Okay.
All right. So 146 people from 23 countries still on board under strict. So they're still on this ship as of right now?
No, I think that they have, some of them have disembarked. Hold on, let me find out.
So it says health officials in at least 12 countries are tracking dispersed passengers.
Yes.
Okay, and American passengers. So we have some Americans that located in 5 states: Arizona, California, Georgia, Texas, and Virginia.
and the local health departments are saying that they're monitoring them.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one here. So this one happened 2 days ago, and this is a California woman. An American aware he has was a hantavirus case traveled to French Polynesia without informing authorities about her contact status.
Okay.
This is the case in California. Authorities had previously stated that was being advised to limit outside activities during the monitoring period. The woman who has the hantavirus contact case transited through Tahiti and then Mangariva on May 7th without French Polynesian or French authorities being informed.
She just
She was just traveling. So the person, she didn't show any symptoms and is currently in isolation and quarantine on the Pitcairn Islands. After an emergency meeting held this morning, and this was 2 days ago, with the state, it was decided not to authorize her access to Funa, which is a French Polynesian territory. Although she is currently asymptomatic, so she's come in contact, but she's not showing symptoms, but neither did Tafwa Mary. This American citizen will not leave the Pitcairn Islands to transit through Polynesia as long as she presents a risk to others, per the local government. So this is May 7th. So she flew from San Francisco to Tahiti to Mangariva, then to Pitcairn. The Polynesian government on May 11th found out of the hantavirus contact status. Then on the same day, they held an emergency meeting. This was all on May 11th.
Okay.
Held an emergency meeting, did a travel ban through French Polynesia. The country and the state recalled that they remain in permanent watch. The primary concern is the health security of the Polynesians. They remain ready to support Pitcairn in the coming days if needed. So it's just worth noting that a few local news reports present this is a positive hantavirus case, though other sources describe her as a contact case. So they say contact case, but some people saying she actually had it. She just asymptomatic.
Okay.
So this person right here said they're just going to promote, they're going to do it as a contact case because you got some people saying positive, some people saying contact.
Okay.
Given the timeline, she is obviously not counted among the passengers evacuated directly from the ship in Tenerife. So because of the timeline, they saying that she's not counted among the passengers. She wasn't on the boat.
Oh.
She just became in contact with somebody that could have been on the boat or came in contact with somebody on the boat. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So they say I'm doing it for the timeline. She was never on the boat because remember she was May 7th. The boat, I think they were in the Canary Islands on the 6th. So there's no way she could have got from the Canary Islands to San Francisco by the 7th.
Okay.
So technically, she's not the person from the boat, but she would have came in contact with somebody that was either on the boat or on a, you know what I'm saying? It's like a contact. Like I touch you, and then you go touch Daddy. Daddy never came in contact with me, but you touched him. Yeah. Something like that. All right. But they said that this suggests she was either an earlier disembarker from that boat, that's earlier, but from April 24th.
So yeah, because they had an outbreak in April.
Yes.
On that same boat?
Yes, they did. So
what's going on?
The boat itself disembarked twice. Okay. So there was 2 incidents.
Yes.
The first time people disembarked, they didn't know what it was. So the second time, the man died. They thought the 70-year-old man that died, him and his wife, they let him off the boat.
Yeah.
So when they let him off, they didn't let him off the boat. They let his body off the boat. Yeah. And they let his wife off the boat. Because, of course, she needed to go home with her husband. And then people did get off the boat then. At the time, it was just, he got sick and died.
Okay.
So they didn't think nothing of it. It wasn't until 2 more people end up dying, and they realized, okay, this is something, and then they did it, and that's when they realized the hantavirus. They already had she was on the boat She just didn't get off of the Tenerife Islands. So she didn't get off when they knew it was Hanta. She got off before they knew it was Hanta.
Okay.
So she originally got off, and then they started. Then once they realized what they had, then they started going back and trying to trace, do a contact trace. So she probably did get her on the boat, but she wasn't so in the. And I think it's a 8-week quarantine.
Yeah.
Or yeah, incubation period is what?
So it says develop within 1 to 2 weeks after exposure. So that's the hemorrhagic fever.
Okay.
With renal syndromes. That develops 1 to 2 weeks after intubation.
Okay.
Hold on. And then so it takes 4 to 10 days for the initial phase of the illness to appear, which is fatigue, fever, muscle aches.
Okay.
So we're looking at about 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it says HPS, so hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. That's the sign. That's one of the symptoms. So that is a severe and potential deadly disease that affects the lungs. Is the effect of the hantavirus.
Okay.
So the symptoms of HPS, which is the pulmonary syndrome, usually starts to show 1 to 8 weeks after contact of the. But this is from after contact with an infected rodent. But the strand that we had, so at some point somebody had to come in, because the only way I noticed, they said it's the Andes strand, which is human, because spread from human to human. But how does that first human get it?
So you have to come in contact with the rodent stuff.
So what are you doing that has to rodent?
That's why I'm gonna tell you the truth. Somebody on Thread said they don't get it. It's about New York. New York is 5 islands strung together by rodent paws.
Yes.
And yet you don't hear about this, and then somebody get on the boat and get it. So I don't know exactly how. But okay, do you remember how we were looking at? It wasn't called Thousand Ways to Die, but it was called. I don't know what it was called, but it was about. Did I die or did I live?
Yeah.
And the guy, it was, matter of fact, it was when COVID started.
Yeah.
And he decided that he was going to start working, doing woodwork, because his job had ended. And so he was going to start doing something. And he went in his basement and he cleaned up.
And started.
And dust.
Started coming and breathing in.
And breathing in. And he ended up dying. And the reason he died is because all that stuff breathing in, and he didn't wear a mask.
Yes.
And you don't think about that. But now when I clean, I try to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Especially if the dust is dusty, thick, you be like, this has been sitting here for a while. You gotta wear a mask, because that's just a lot. I mean, because you're sneezing, you're doing all this stuff. I mean, this stuff just flying through the air, so you never know. So I'm guessing that the boat left from Argentina. So I don't know if the person who came in contact was in Argentina or it's the boat, but it just could have been just something as simple as they were doing something, they did something up, and then they caught it.
Yeah.
And then the strand that they happen to catch is the strand that can actually go from human to human. Once they get it from the rodent, it then starts jumping from human to human.
So they started in Argentina. So, and the outbreak was believed to have started following a bird watching convention expedition.
Yes.
So it says the Andes virus, which is the strand, is a type of hantavirus spread by rodents in South America and less commonly by other infected people. So the rodents that carry the antivirus have not been found in the United States.
Okay, so that's why New York and Jersey is safe.
Yes.
Because their rats may be big, but they don't carry it.
Okay. So it can cause severe respiratory disease in people called hantavirus pulmonary syndrome.
Okay.
HPS. The Andes virus is the only type of hantavirus that's known to spread person to person.
Okay.
This spread is usually limited to people have close who have had close contact with the sick person. This includes physical contact, prolonged time spent in closed or enclosed spaces, and exposure to sick person's bodily fluids. So timing. Okay, so it takes 4 to 42 days. The symptoms and signs of HPS due to the Andes virus appears 4 to 42 days after exposure. So that's
about 8 weeks.
Yeah,
it's 8 weeks. You said 4 to 42.
Yeah, 4
So
to
you're talking
42
about 4 to 42 days.
Yeah, it takes them 4 to 42 days.
So that takes, like you said, a week to 40. Yes, because 5. Well,
that's about, because 7 times 6 is 42.
Yes.
So that's about 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay.
So yeah, but I'm just trying to think, like, on the ship. They said after birth. So maybe they got off doing a bird watching expedition
and caught it there. Somebody had it there.
Yeah.
But what are people doing in Argentina? What is people in Argentina doing that gets you that close to a rodent? Now, the thing about rodent is we're automatically thinking rats.
Yeah.
Rodent can be anything.
Yeah.
A rabbit. They had them kookaburras.
Yeah,
Capybaras. What else? Nutrias.
Yeah.
Nutria rodents. So we do got to get out that mindset that when we say rodents, they're not talking just about rats. It could be any type of rodent.
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, it might not have been an actual rat. It could have been a kookaburra. It could have been a nutria. It could have been something like that. Yes.
And see, it says, okay, so how it spread. It says through the contact of infected with an infected rodent,
mm-hmm.
or their urine, saliva, or feces.
So, and that could be any type. And if you're walking through the woods,
a jungle, bird watching expedition, you touch a tree
that had a rodent, exactly.
Down and tie your shoe and touch.
So you're right. So it's not that you're just out there playing with rats. First of all,
yes.
The rats, the type of rodent is not the type that you can find here. So it could be, like I said, and then when you think rodent, you automatically think a mouse or a rat, when there are different versions of rodents. And yes. And it's not as hard as you think. I mean, you think about Chloe. Chloe pees all over the backyard. Mm-hmm. So if you walk outside in the backyard with your shoes off, you're walking through her pee. You'll see her poop, but you probably won't see her pee. So I get what you're saying. So now I think about that, like when you walk outside, that's why people don't like walking outside with their shoes off, because animals, I mean, it's an animal. And it's really that simple.
That's why I don't step off the back patio.
Which is why you should always wash your hands when you come from outside. Less people, washing your hands is not a bad thing. But if you're in the jungle on the bird position, you're not thinking about washing your hands, because where you gonna wash your hands at, right? Yeah. So I guess it was easier than I thought. I'm thinking these people were just playing with rats. No. And they weren't. It could have been just as simple as just touching something that had that stuff on it, not knowing. Some people don't like bat guano that people make tea out of.
I never understand that real fast.
But some people may not know something is fecal matter. They may think it's just dirt, or something may look like clay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because different animals eat different things, and so when they, excavate, it looks different. It's not going to look like, what you think something should look like. And it could come out looking like, oh, I'm just dirt and just going to brush it off here. No. That's why I don't like going to the beach. I like going to the beach. I love going to the beach. But, what I hate is the pier, because the birds have their way with it. You don't want to touch that. So it's just different things. Like, you may not realize. You may think it's bark, especially, from a tree, and then you put your hand against it. So I guess it's not that hard to come in contact with their waste.
Yes.
And if they were on a bird expedition, so this wasn't about the boat being dirty.
Yeah.
It was not about that. This literally was about accidentally probably brushing against something when they was on that expedition and then getting sick, and then the doctor's not realizing what was making them sick.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, why hantavirus when the boat's clean, nobody's coming in contact, and then it didn't dawn on them until later that that's what it was. So okay, so now we know that this is not something that just happened. This is not something that people just being careless. It could have really just been a mistake.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
but now the spread can be careless.
Yes.
The spread.
Okay, so the spread. So contact with rodents. Okay, by touching. Okay, so another way by touching an object or surface that had a virus on it, then touching your mouth, nose, or eyes. Which I have a bad habit of touching my face.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta stop doing that. Okay.
Me too.
Through close contact with a person who was sick with the antivirus. So they said to reduce the risk. Avoid areas infested with rodents while visiting countries in South America.
Okay.
Avoid the spread between people by washing your hands frequently. Avoid kissing and sexual contact with somebody who may have the Andes virus. Avoid sharing drinks, cigarettes, hookah, vapes with somebody who may have been in the Andes. And that should say avoid sharing drinks, cigarettes, hookah, and vapes with anybody.
But people be at the hookah bar sharing that. I'm not. See, that's why I don't get hookah. Like, why are we sharing
And
this?
you know what? When I was younger, I did go to a hookah bar and I was sharing, and it's like, why? You think about it, you're like, why? Just like we don't blow out candles on the cake anymore.
Exactly.
I'm not blowing out candles on the cake because that's just gross. You think about it.
Yes.
So that should be avoid doing that with anybody. Don't share nobody. And why y'all sharing drink? Okay, anyway. Avoid.
The only thing I think you sharing drinks with because that's somebody you with.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
That I can see because I have that. Me and my significant other have shared drinks. Like,
yeah.
But for a long time, he would get mad at me because I'd be like, "Why are you drinking out my straw?" He'd be like, "Are you serious?"
Yes, I'm dead serious.
Yes. Like, why are you drinking out my drink? I had to because I'm like, cause to this day when he picks up my drink, I'll be like,
why are you doing that? Yeah.
You're like, well, what?
I'm like, I just don't want you sharing my drink. I don't.
I said also avoid sharing eating utensils or eating food from the same plate or bowl of somebody who may have the virus.
Okay.
And maintain distance from someone who may have the virus.
Okay.
So there's no specific antiviral treatment or vaccine for the antivirus currently available. Symptoms may develop rapidly. Early medical care is critical with care centered on managing the symptoms.
Not curing it, managing.
Yes. Okay. So when you get the HPS, which is the pulmonary, they just have to manage it.
So I'm like COVID. Because once you got COVID, you had COVID.
Yeah.
You had to let COVID run its course. And all they could do was just manage the symptoms of COVID.
Yeah.
And hopefully your body wouldn't, but what is the survival rate of did they give that?
They don't give the survival rate.
I should say survival mortality. Yeah.
They don't now, and this is coming from the CDC website.
Okay.
So they don't have like a survival rate or mortality rate listed for it.
Okay. But can we trust right now with everything that's going on with our government? Can we even trust, they're going to give us all the information with it? So the best thing to do is you got to make decisions for yourself. So I don't want no people, because you got people that do love to travel. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. You got people who love to travel. And I'm not going to say don't travel because Lord knows I wouldn't want to stop traveling if I like to travel. So it's not that. I think it's just, you're going to protect yourself. And no matter what people say to you. So if you like wearing a mask, wear your mask. And then somebody say, why are you wearing a mask? Because I want to. You know what I'm saying? I want to. Like, why are you talking to me? Why are you here? Like, why are you on this earth? You're on this earth because your mama made a decision. Let's leave it at that. You're here because your parents made a decision.
Yeah.
and the decision was to keep you. So the same way your parents made the decision to keep you, I'm making the decision to wear a mask so I can protect myself.
Yes, a lot of people are concerned with what people are doing. It's not, am I hurting you?
Exactly, I'm not hurting you. So I think it's just, you got this information from the CDC. Please go to their website. I know our government is not doing the best of the job, but some people do think, but they still have scientists that are probably trying to get information out there. There's also the World Health Organization, which is who, please, go to their website. I don't say cause mass hysteria, but I also say do things to protect yourself. And one of the things to protect yourself, like I said, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. With me, like I said, we had allergies. One day it was so dusty outside, I had to wear a mask. If not, I'm going to be drowned. My eyes, everything. So, wash your hands. Do things that, I think it just comes down to it, basic hygiene. So if you touch something before you touch your face, put your hands in your mouth before you eat, make sure you're washing your hands. And not to panic. I guess right now the best thing is not to panic, because I don't think it's as widespread as COVID got. And it doesn't have to get widespread as COVID got. But I also say, if you have come in contact with this virus or anybody with the virus, please take necessary steps to make sure you're not passing it. So don't get in contact with somebody and then say, well, I got a trip planned. No, I think it's time for you to cancel your trip and now go into quarantine. Because yes, like I said, yes, still travel. But if you have come in contact with this virus, if you go out, you're now going to cause 170 other people to come, to eventually almost get this or whatever, to potentially get this virus. And now that's what becomes the problem. So not only protect yourself, but also be if you're a good person would say, I don't want to hurt or harm anybody else. And if I got to inconvenience myself, I'm going to inconvenience myself. And that's basically what didn't happen during COVID. People did not think about other people during that time. And they still tried to travel until it got too scary to travel or got too scary to go out. And the government had to say, we got to shut everything down until we figure this out. But if now we know what we know. And people are like, well, I don't want another shutdown. Well, then let's do the step. We already know what to do. Let's do it. It's very simple. And it's really as simple as if, doing the hygiene stuff, washing your hands, wearing masks, whatever. And then if you have come in contact, just quarantine yourself. We got a problem. About to go with like 10% battery.
Okay.
All right. So
running out.
So we probably need to end the show here. We got an hour anyways.
We got an hour. Okay. All right.
So like I said,
we're amateur, so we running out
of battery. Okay. So basically, the moral story is, just kind of protect yourself, know what to do, keep yourself informed. No mass hysteria is needed at all. And we don't need to go into the whole, we're not even talking about vaccines and nothing like that right now. Right now, it's about prevention. It's about taking care of yourself. So let's do that. And then we'll talk about, because we do have some other topics, but we'll just tack it on to next week, because we do need to talk about some other stuff as far as the voting rights. We want to talk about just the things that Donald Trump and his regime is doing. And we want to talk about RFK and his decision to want to take away antidepressant medicine. And we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that. So please join us next week when we'll be here. And we probably will not run out of battery power so soon, but we will make sure that we're fully charged. So thank you so much for joining us, Sister Music. I'm Tiva.
I'm Risa.
And have a great week.